Genesis 27 1-4. Now it came to pass, when Isaac was old and his eyes were so dim that he could not see, that he called Esau his older son and said to him, My son. And he answered him, Here I am. Then he said, Behold now, I am old. I do not know the day of my death. Now therefore, please take your weapons, your quiver and your bow, and go out to the field and hunt game for me. And make me savory food, such as I love, and bring it to me that I may eat, that my soul may bless you before I die.
As Isaac aged and his sight failed, he called upon Esau, his favorite son, with the intent to bless him. He asked Esau to prepare him a meal from hunted game, the way he liked it, indicating the personal nature of this father-son ritual. This was more than just a meal, it was to be an occasion for the transfer of the patriarchal blessing, which carried spiritual significance for the family line. In these passages, we observe a mixture of family dynamics and spiritual implications. Esau's marriages bring tension into the family, and Isaac's plan to bless Esau prepares us for one of the most dramatic narratives in Genesis. As we continue to read, we'll see how God's sovereignty unfolds, even amid human plans and actions.
Genesis 27 5-10. Now Rebekah was listening when Isaac spoke to Esau his son. And Esau went to the field to hunt game and to bring it. So Rebekah spoke to Jacob her son, saying, Indeed I heard your father speak to Esau your brother, saying, Bring me game and make savory food for me, that I may eat it and bless you in the presence of the Lord before my death. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice according to what I command you. Go now to the flock and bring me from there 2 choice kids of the goats, and I will make savory food from them for your father, such as he loves. Then you shall take it to your father, that he may eat it, and that he may bless you before his death.
Rebekah, who overheard Isaac's conversation with Esau, intervenes in this blessing process. She instructs Jacob, her favorite son, to impersonate Esau and receive the blessing intended for the older brother. It's worth noting that Rebekah acts in line with God's earlier prophecy that the elder will serve the younger, but the deception adds a layer of familial conflict to this unfolding story.
Genesis 27 11-14. And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, Look, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth-skinned man. Perhaps my father will feel me, and I shall seem to be a mocker to him, and I shall bring a curse on myself and not a blessing. But his mother said to him, Let your curse be on me, my son, only obey my voice, and go, get them for me. And he went and got them and brought them to his mother, and his mother made savory food, such as his father loved.
Jacob initially objects to the plan, fearing that he will be found out and cursed instead of blessed. However, Rebekah insists, even taking upon herself any curse that may come from this act. With his mother's insistence, Jacob follows her instructions, setting in motion events that will forever alter the family's dynamics. In these verses, we see a clash between human scheming and divine providence. It brings to mind the timeless questions about God's sovereignty and human responsibility. While we ponder these, let's also remember that God's plans, though sometimes seemingly disrupted by human actions, ultimately prevail.
Genesis 27 15-20. Then Rebekah took the choice clothes of her elder son Esau, which were with her in the house, and put them on Jacob her younger son. And she put the skins of the kids of the goats on his hands and on the smooth part of his neck. Then she gave the savory food and the bread, which she had prepared, into the hand of her son Jacob. So he went to his father and said, My father. And he said, Here I am. Who are you, my son? Jacob said to his father, I am Esau your firstborn, I have done just as you told me, please arise, sit and eat of my game, that your soul may bless me. But Isaac said to his son, How is it that you have found it so quickly, my son? And he said, Because the Lord your God brought it to me.
Rebekah, intent on deceiving Isaac, dresses Jacob in Esau's clothes and covers his hands and neck with goat skins to mimic Esau's hairiness. Jacob, playing his part, lies to his father about his identity, attributing his quick success in hunting to the Lord's assistance. Here, we see the deception unfolding, with Jacob actively participating in the act.
Genesis 27:21-24. Then Isaac said to Jacob, "Please come near, that I may feel you, my son, whether you are really my son Esau or not." So Jacob went near to Isaac his father, and he felt him and said, "The voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau." And he did not recognize him, because his hands were hairy like his brother Esau's hands, so he blessed him. Then he said, "Are you really my son Esau?" He said, "I am."
Despite Isaac's suspicion raised by the sound of Jacob's voice, the feel of the goat skins convinces him that this is indeed Esau. Isaac blesses Jacob, believing him to be his older son. Jacob lies again when questioned directly, deepening the deception. These verses remind us of the lengths to which Rebekah and Jacob were willing to go to secure the blessing. It's an act that reflects both their faith in the importance of the blessing and their willingness to use deceit to achieve it. As we continue with the story, we will explore the repercussions of their actions.
Genesis 27:25-29, he said, "Bring it near to me, and I will eat of my son's game, so that my soul may bless you." So he brought it near to him, and he ate, and he brought him wine, and he drank. Then his father Isaac said to him, "Come near now and kiss me, my son." And he came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his clothing, and blessed him and said, "Surely, the smell of my son is like the smell of a field which the Lord has blessed. Therefore may God give you of the dew of heaven, of the fatness of the earth, and plenty of grain and wine. Let people serve you, and nations bow down to you. Be master over your brethren, and let your mother's sons bow down to you. Cursed be everyone who curses you, and blessed be those who bless you."
In this passage, we find Isaac giving Jacob, who he believes to be Esau, the paternal blessing. He bestows upon him blessings of agricultural abundance, dominion over nations and peoples, and authority over his own family, as well as a promise of divine protection.
Genesis 27:30-33. Now it happened, as soon as Isaac had finished blessing Jacob, and Jacob had scarcely gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting. He also had made savory food, and brought it to his father, and said to his father, "Let my father arise and eat of his son's game, that your soul may bless me." And his father Isaac said to him, "Who are you?" So he said, "I am your son, your firstborn, Esau." Then Isaac trembled exceedingly, and said, "Who? Where is the one who hunted game and brought it to me? I ate all of it before you came, and I have blessed him, and indeed he shall be blessed."
Esau returns from his hunting trip to a shocking revelation: his brother has stolen his blessing. Isaac, realizing the deception, is filled with an intense trembling. His response to Esau is profound: the blessing given, even under false pretenses, will stand. These moments highlight the consequences of the deceit employed by Rebekah and Jacob. As we contemplate this narrative, let's reflect on the themes of deceit, divine blessing, and familial relationships, and how they play out in the lives of these biblical figures.
Genesis 27:34-38. When Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with an exceedingly great and bitter cry, and said to his father, "Bless me, me also, O my father." But he said, "Your brother came with deceit and has taken away your blessing." And Esau said, "Is he not rightly named Jacob? For he has supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and now look, he has taken away my blessing." And he said, "Have you not reserved a blessing for me?" Then Isaac answered and said to Esau, "Indeed I have made him your master, and all his brethren I have given to him as servants, with grain and wine I have sustained him. What shall I do now for you, my son?" And Esau said to his father, "Have you only one blessing, my father? Bless me, me also, O my father." And Esau lifted up his voice and wept.
Esau's reaction to the deception is one of intense despair. His pleas for a blessing from his father are heart-wrenching. The nature of Isaac's blessing, with its bestowal of dominion and wealth, left nothing for Esau. Isaac's inability to provide a second blessing underscores the irreversible nature of his earlier actions.
Genesis 27:39-41. Then Isaac his father answered and said to him, Behold, your dwelling shall be of the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. By your sword you shall live, and you shall serve your brother, and it shall come to pass, when you become restless, that you shall break his yoke from your neck. So Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing with which his father blessed him, and Esau said in his heart, The days of mourning for my father are at hand, then I will kill my brother Jacob.
Isaac does give Esau a form of blessing, but it contains a prophecy of struggle, servitude, and eventual freedom. This prediction sets the stage for further conflict between Jacob and Esau, as Esau harbors a deep hatred for his brother and plots his revenge. In these moments, we see the repercussions of deceit coming to fruition in the lives of Isaac's family. The fracture between Jacob and Esau deepens, leading to Esau's resentment and his eventual plans for revenge.
Genesis 27:42-46, And the words of Esau her older son were told to Rebekah. So she sent and called Jacob her younger son, and said to him, Surely your brother Esau comforts himself concerning you by intending to kill you. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice, arise, flee to my relative Laban in Haran. And stay with him a few days, until your brother's fury turns away, until your brother's anger turns away from you, and he forgets what you have done to him, then I will send and bring you from there. Why should I be bereaved also of you both in one day? And Rebekah said to Isaac, I am weary of my life because of the daughters of Heth. If Jacob takes a wife of the daughters of Heth, like these who are the daughters of the land, what good will my life be to me?
The plot thickens as Rebekah learns of Esau's plans to kill Jacob. She advises Jacob to flee to her brother Laban in Haran, ostensibly to escape Esau's wrath. But she also has another motive. She wants to prevent Jacob from marrying a Canaanite woman, which would have been considered undesirable.
Genesis 28:1-5. Then Isaac called Jacob and blessed him, and charged him, and said to him, You shall not take a wife from the daughters of Canaan. Arise, go to Paddan Aram, to the house of Bethuel your mother's father, and take yourself a wife from there of the daughters of Laban your mother's brother. May God Almighty bless you, and make you fruitful and multiply you, that you may be an assembly of peoples, and give you the blessing of Abraham, to you and your descendants with you, that you may inherit the land in which you are a stranger, which God gave to Abraham. So Isaac sent Jacob away, and he went to Paddan Aram, to Laban the son of Bethuel the Syrian, the brother of Rebekah, the mother of Jacob and Esau.
Isaac reiterates Rebekah's instruction, adding a new blessing for Jacob, that he may be fruitful and multiply, inherit the land given to Abraham, and receive God's blessings. Jacob is sent away to find a wife among his mother's people, avoiding the risk of marrying a Canaanite woman. The continuation of the Abrahamic promise through Jacob and the directive to find a wife from Rebekah's family are significant. They emphasize the continuity of God's covenant and the importance of maintaining distinct ethnic and religious identities.
Genesis 28:6-9. Esau saw that Isaac had blessed Jacob and sent him away to Paddan Aram to take himself a wife from there, and that as he blessed him he gave him a charge, saying, You shall not take a wife from the daughters of Canaan, and that Jacob had obeyed his father and his mother and had gone to Paddan Aram. Also, Esau saw that the daughters of Canaan did not please Isaac his father. So Esau went to Ishmael and took Mahalath the daughter of Ishmael, Abraham's son, the sister of Nebaioth, to be his wife in addition to the wives he had.
In an attempt to regain his parents' favor, Esau marries a woman from the line of Abraham. Esau recognizes the Canaanite women's disapproval and, in his way, tries to correct his previous mistake. However, Esau's decision may have been based more on rivalry with Jacob than on a genuine desire to honor his parents' wishes.
Genesis 28:10-15. Now Jacob went out from Beersheba and went toward Haran. So he came to a certain place and stayed there all night, because the sun had set. And he took one of the stones of that place and put it at his head, and he lay down in that place to sleep. Then he dreamed, and behold, a ladder was set up on the earth, and its top reached to heaven, and there the angels of God were ascending and descending on it. And behold, the Lord stood above it and said, I am the Lord God of Abraham your father and the God of Isaac, the land on which you lie I will give to you and your descendants. Also your descendants shall be as the dust of the earth, you shall spread abroad to the west and the east, to the north and the south, and in you and in your seed all the families of the earth shall be blessed. Behold, I am with you and will keep you wherever you go, and will bring you back to this land, for I will not leave you until I have done what I have spoken to you.
As Jacob journeys toward Haran, he has a profound dream in which God affirms the Abrahamic covenant with him. God's promise to Jacob underscores the continuity of his covenant with Abraham's descendants. This divine encounter profoundly impacts Jacob, marking a significant moment in his personal relationship with God.
Genesis 28:16-22, Then Jacob awoke from his sleep and said, Surely the Lord is in this place, and I did not know it. And he was afraid and said, How awesome is this place! This is none other than the house of God, and this is the gate of heaven. Then Jacob rose early in the morning, and took the stone that he had put at his head, set it up as a pillar, and poured oil on top of it. And he called the name of that place Bethel, but the name of that city had been Luz previously. Then Jacob made a vow, saying, If God will be with me, and keep me in this way that I am going, and give me bread to eat and clothing to put on, so that I come back to my father's house in peace, then the Lord shall be my God. And this stone which I have set as a pillar shall be God's house, and of all that you give me I will surely give a tenth to you.
After the divine encounter, Jacob's perspective on his surroundings changes completely. He now recognizes that the place where he slept is sacred, the very house of God. He sets up the stone he used as a pillow as a pillar and anoints it with oil, thereby consecrating it. Jacob then makes a vow to God, conditional upon God's protection, provision, and fulfillment of the promise of return. This vow marks Jacob's active acceptance of the covenant relationship with God. Jacob also promises to dedicate a tenth of all he receives to God, one of the earliest references to the practice of tithing in the Bible. As we delve further into Genesis, we see the narrative continue to reflect the complexities of human nature, divine intervention, and the enduring covenant between God and Abraham's descendants. God's faithfulness, despite human failings, serves as a central theme in these passages.